welcome back to a new vlog. We're going to be doing a video game review, much like the other one I did called Sarah is Missing. It's a little late this year because we had Christmas and we had New Year, so I'm sure everybody has been busy. So I'm going to review a indie horror game known as Saturn 9. Here's the trailer.
The company has lost all contact with their research vessel. You have been sent to investigate and recover the data.
Well, so I've had a chance to play the game. I actually played it on my Xbox 360. You can get the game on Steam also. The game is like a mixture of Silent Hill and Alien. It's a bit kind of psychological. The game kind of messes with your mind in kind of fun ways a little bit. And it does have a very creepy atmosphere. I mean, dark corridors and strange noises and plenty of pop-ups. There's a few times like, you're in the game and all of a sudden there's like a creature standing behind you that can, it got me a few times. I like, woo, got a little jump here and there. So the game is very good with the atmosphere. The graphics are not the best you've ever seen, but it's an indie game, and for what it is, it's actually pretty good for what it is. However, the game is very short. Once you know all the puzzles and how to do everything, you can probably beat the game in less than 10 minutes. So it's not a very long game. We're not talking games like Call of Duty or Silent Hill or Mortal Kombat, which can go on for like hours and hours and days of gameplay. You could be done with this within a few minutes. However, having said that, you also got to remember, it's only $1. So it's with that price, that's not so bad for the length you get. So you got to compare the length with the price. So having said that, there is a balancing issues with the challenging. The first, I would say, 80% of the game is just mostly of you walking down hallways and being scared. There's not too much challenge. There's a couple like puzzles, but there's a hint system that can actually eventually just bluntly tell you how to get the how to solve the puzzles, and even to a point where I can actually tell you what the puzzle solving is. You could probably want it to be a little bit more challenging by not using the hints, but in some of the challenges, I just you kind of need those hints. Particularly the last one, I found that you kind of really needed some of the hints. You can't just figure it out on your own. A couple of them you can. There's a few that you can totally figure out on your own. But the last one particularly you can't. So it's pretty easy, and then all of a sudden it gets pretty difficult towards the end. If any of you ever played a game called Slender, that 8 pages, where you have to like run through the forest and get 8 pages before Slender Man gets you, the ending of the game, the last 20% of it is similar to that. I find it incredibly difficult because of the shadowing, the sort of like these tight corridors, and you kind of get like, you can easily get stuck. So you're going to die a lot of times. Get that run button going. So it's like it gets pretty easy, then it also just gets really difficult. Plus, it's not really a game. It's more like a horror experience. There's a lot of games coming out that are indie horror games that are more like an experience. There's not much challenge. There's not much like to do. I should say much like to do. Like I said, this game does have some challenge, especially like I said, the ending. But like I said, most of it is you're walking down spooky corridors waiting to get the shit scared out of you, pretty much. So, it's not really a game. It's more like a interactive horror movie, I guess I would say. Um, but I will say for an indie game, it's a pretty good one. It is pretty atmospheric. It's pretty spooky. Like I said, I just wish it was a bit longer. I wish they had better balancing with the challenges. Um, a weapon would have been nice too, but that's not necessary. And like the story's kind of piss poor, generic, but that's not the point. It's just the creepiness of the atmosphere. So if you want it, you can get the game on both Xbox Live or Steam. Should you get it? Depends. I bought it. I'd have no regret buying it. There's not much of a replay value after you beat it once, but it really depends. Like I said, it's just what you're interested in. You maybe you buy it once, and then maybe a couple months from now you play it again just to get the spooky and the scare factor. Well, that is my review of Saturn 9. Now here are the pros and cons for the game Saturn 9. First, the pros. It does have a spooky atmosphere, kind of claustrophobic, and really helps with the horror elements. There are some jump scares that will catch you off guard, and that could be pretty good fun. The graphics are decent, but not great, but you also got to take into account that it is an indie horror game, and for an indie game, the graphics are pretty good. Best of all, it only will cost you $1, so you're not going to break the bank owning this game. Now for the cons. Though it's a cheap game and though it's an indie game, it's also pretty short. You can beat it in between 10 to 15 minutes. There's also no replay value, so once you beat it, there's generally not a reason to go back and play it again. It's also pretty unbalanced, being easy in the beginning and then getting pretty difficult all of a sudden. Anyway, so next month, look for more vlogs. Hopefully I can do some more about some paranormal stories and even more reviews. I like to do reviews of games and everything. But also, later this month, look for a Creepy Places Global from Tintern Abbey in Wales. So I hope you're enjoying that, and I hope you all had a great holiday. So take care.